At this time, I would like to turn today's program over to Darren Cunningham with Informatica Cloud. Darren, you may begin.
To this month's webinar, we're excited to be with an all-star cast to take us through some significant updates to Informatica Cloud and to talk about the Spring release. So before we dive in and we start going through what's new, I wanted to just give you all a quick reminder. We know a lot of people joined our regular product update webinars and overviews and who don't necessarily have a lot of experience with Informatica Cloud. So just to remind everyone, back in November, we come out with our winter release. We made a number of enhancements there, and we also introduced our new Cloud MDM application, which is something we'll talk briefly about today, but it's an exciting area of our product line where we're seeing a lot of adoption from existing Informatica Cloud integration customers and new customers who are really looking to tackle data quality challenges, hierarchy management challenges around Salesforce in particular. I wanted to talk about our marketplace. We've been really working closely with our marketplace team, informaticamarketplace.com, to try to make it as easy as possible for you all to get up and running with new connectors and new templates. So 2 malls on the marketplace, a template mall and a connector mall, really designed to help you get it now and start to expand what is possible with our cloud service. And then finally, I wanted to take a minute to thank many of you who did take the time to provide a review in 2012. I had tremendous support towards the end of the year, in particular from customers and partners, and I'm really excited to say we have been recognized for the 5th year in a row as the #1 integration solution on the App Exchange. So over 600 views now for our Salesforce integration capabilities. So thank you very much. That is something we're very proud of because it comes directly from the feedback from you all about the quality and capabilities of our service. So let's get into the Spring release. We have a lot to cover today. We have new integration applications. We have expanded capabilities for our existing apps. And then we have some areas that have come to us from the Ideas site. And Krupa is going to be spending some time going through a few demos, walking through what's new in the cloud integration product line, which did get upgraded. All of our customers were upgraded on Saturday night to the new Spring release. So that's the agenda. Let's jump right in. So the first you might not have heard, unless you saw our press release last week, is that Informatica has recently made an acquisition of a company called Active Endpoints. The company is based in Boston and has a long history of delivering process management capabilities. And the last 2 years, Active Endpoints has really focused on delivering cloud-based solutions and towards a very easy-to-use concept and approach similar to the approach that Informatica has taken with our Informatica Cloud business. So I'm excited to welcome Active Endpoints to the team and to introduce the new product, which we call Informatica Cloud Extend. And with me today to take us through an overview of the Cloud Extend product and even a quick demonstration is Clive Behrman. So welcome to the team, and let me hand it over to you to give us an introduction.
Great, thanks. So good morning, afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me today, and we're really happy to be a member now of the Informatica family. So I'm going to go over today a very quick few slides about what Cloud Extend is, just a very quick primer, and we'll schedule a much more deeper dive later on. So Cloud Extend, as it says here, is essentially a customization tool for business users, customization around process management and process automation. Really, it's a do-it-yourself. There's really no coding that's required. The thing is, I won't be showing mobile today, but you can get mobile and or internet browser-based widgets and process we'll see. The thing is, it works with standard objects and custom objects and whatever you have in your Salesforce environment. And why would you want to use it? Why did Informatica acquire Endpoints? Well, we're all about improving end-user productivity for the data that's inside Salesforce. And think about when you create these process wizards, that it produces a consistent and repeatable process that no matter your experience, that you can use over and over again. And the real nice thing is we're getting folks through a particular process, whether that's say order or something like that, or a customer support. We're getting them through a set of question and answers and writing that and reading that data in real time. So as I said, what problem are we solving? Really the efficiency around, or inefficiency, I should say, with user interface with Salesforce. So folks really struggle to remember in order to do things, consistent data processes, so maybe people forget to fill in fields if they're not required. And really, to make this sort of thing really sweet inside Salesforce, it does require IT or custom coding or a consultant or something like that. And of course, you kind of end up when you're using Salesforce with this sort of disjointed flow of flipping between tabs, filling in fields, adding stuff, maybe going out to the Salesforce and then back in. It's all very inefficient. And so you're taking a process-centric approach and a process automation approach where mainly you fill in real or one form in context. The engine takes care of doing a whole bunch of stuff on the back end and guides you through step by step the process you have to make. You can create your own processes, so there's, as I said, no custom Apex coding, no consulting. You can really just do it yourself. So where can we use it? It's great for sales ops and sales operations, so for things like meeting planning or post-meeting follow-up, which I'm actually going to show you today, maybe account reviews, as I said, opportunity to order. Using the portal, you can, streaming case creation or account updates or troubleshooting your customer's tickets on the end. And even things like customer provisioning, where a customer calls up and say, I'd like my account activated, and there's a particular step that you processes you have to go through. You use the process for Salesforce administration, so you want to build a process for user provisioning, so everybody goes through the right steps and gets the right details and the right access to that required. And then marketing, there's some sort of process you want to put in place for, say, lead capture. Maybe you're at a trade show and you want to follow through the data to capture all the right fields, maybe lead nurturing, campaign management. Perhaps you want a process for creating campaigns and things like that. But we don't, again, just concentrate on standard Salesforce objects. We've got integrations, and we've got customers with applications that are written on the Force.com platform, and we can get access to all of that data. For example, we've got a real estate customer. They're doing appraisals and comps, and they've processed for that. We've got energy and utilities for utility subscriptions. Again, folks may sign up for a utility. There's a particular process to create accounts, whether they're commercial, whether they're residential customers, whether it's oil, gas, etc. And of course, telecommunications, as it says at the bottom, for things like cell phone provisioning. There's an application that one of our customers uses that's built on top of Salesforce for provision cell phone access and billing inquiries and things like that. So I'll quickly show you a demonstration. So if you'd like to hand it over to me, I'll whiz through it. There we are.
This is Darren here. While you're getting set up to show us this, a lot of people have joined late into the presentation. What we're walking through is a new set of capabilities that is available today, and we'll actually point to where you can go and get started on the App Exchange. But what I like here is what you're going to show us is the ease of use from an end-user point-and-click process management perspective, but also under the covers is some pretty powerful, really, an engine that drives a lot of this. both of these capabilities are assets and options that we think are a great fit with the Informatica Cloud platform where we're going. And I think what you're going to see here will really, to the kinds of productivity gains you can get out of Salesforce specifically.
So what I'm going to show here actually is imagine that I'm a sales rep. I'm going to put a sales rep's hat on, and I've met with a customer, and this happens to be Acme Mobile that I've got here. I met with a certain individual, and this is just box down Salesforce. So if I scroll down, I can see I've got Bugs Bunnies and open activities. But the issue with Salesforce, as I said, is kind of we've got that disjointed space. So it's great for storing the data, but now if I wanted to say log a call that I had with Bugs Bunny, I've got to go down to the activity history, I've got a log a call button, and immediately I'm flipped in the log a call panel, and I kind of lost where I was going to. So most people go back and sort of, if they're going to log a call here, they might open up in a new tab. So they'll end up getting a new tab open. But that's not an optimum solution either. So let's log a call here. Here we just add some contact data here, sort of. Well, with I'm a road runner, and I'm not really a user that remembers. Oh, should I do process or something like that? I'm going to save it. Now I need to talk about the opportunity. We'll have to scroll down and look at the opportunity. And now I've got the opportunity tab. It's very, very interesting and not at all efficient. So instead, what we have with Cloud Extend is, as I said, this process, concept guides. So if I go back to the account here, and I'm going to go back to the person I had the meeting with. Let's say I had a meeting with Bugs Bunny. This section called Sales Guides, and this gives us a quick quick about what this process is. So sales call follow-up is after the meeting. I'm going to step through a process to follow up with, at my meeting. So I have an introductory panel. Going through, it now says, oh, did you talk about the Cloud Extend subscription? Yes, I did. Now, this is the opportunity. I didn't flip to the opportunity tab. It says, okay, let's update the field for the subscription. So I talked to Bugs Bunny and went to needs analysis, and actually we've said that the opportunity is worth a bit more money. Next step, we're going to present a proposal. I'm going to add in. I'm just going to say budget was allocated there. What did we learn that was potentially relevant? I know, like carrots, not quite relevant, but then we learned. And he is, well, let's say he's the economic decision maker there. I'm following this through in a step-by-step process. I've got a history on the right-hand side. I can go back one step. I can go back multiple steps. And I've done this without actually leaving the context of who I spoke to. Now I'm being prompted to say, hey, if you've spoken with Bugs Bunny, did any other people around the table? In this instance, no, I didn't. Did I identify opportunities? So not only did we talk about this opportunity, but did other things come up in conversation? We didn't, but now on to the next step, which is a follow-up. So here's the plans. We're going to present the proposal at this meeting. At the next meeting. And I don't assign anybody else follow-up tasks, and that's it. I'm done. If I click the done button, I refresh. I refresh the guide. And back to the Cloud Extend subscription, the now has been updated. The image was updated. If you scroll down a bit further, see that I have my follow-up task. I have an activity history with meeting notes, and if we look at the meeting notes, see here, bugs with carrots. Go back. We've got the contact roles and all of that stuff, and a stage history for this particular opportunity. So now we're back to the needs analysis there.
So Clive, you're really talking about, I mean, Informatica is so well known for the data side of things. Now we're tying that together with some of the process capabilities. One of the questions we have coming in is about the customization. How easy is it to guide these questions and really to create this for the end users?
A nice softball feed. Thanks very much. A good question.
It was a real question. It was real.
We have a guide designer. So that was the sort of end user perspective that you saw, and here's how I build any process I like. So we did the sales call follow-up. So let me just click this icon. It was a tree. Here you see I have essentially a point and click approach to building the process. So here was the first screen that we saw. I can preview it here that says sales call follow-up wizard. It's going to tell me what to do. Here is a sub-guide here that actually does action with me. So this will update the fields for the stage, and the opportunity is telling me to update the opportunity. The blue here are essentially the screen that you see, and the tab icons are essentially just automated actions and updating Salesforce fields. So, for example, automated steps says record next step. It's set field that basically takes the data from the screen and if I add, say, and get access, as you answered, or had access to the source data, really simple. I add, say, the amount of the opportunity. Again, it's a constant, or do I get it from the field, or can I have a formula field? And I get the amount from the a quote price now, and if I preview that, it does go up on the screen because I've done that in the background. There's no programming for that, so that now will update the price on the opportunity price.
So there's clearly a lot of power here. I like how you showed it both from the consumption and the production side. We're going to do a follow-up deep dive into this new product. We just wanted to give you all an introduction to it. I think you get a sense of where we can take this as you start to combine it with the Informatica Cloud integration and Informatica Cloud MDM capabilities. There's some pretty powerful possibilities there. So Clive, let me bring it back to some next steps. Unless is there anything else you wanted to show, or are we good to move on?
Just quickly, the one thing I did want to show is that I'm doing the desktop there. To get it to work on a mobile phone, I just changed the theme. And those guides will work now on any smartphone that has access to your Salesforce environment. So, and that's done through Azure. So no coding for mobile. I just changed the theme.
Easy. So it's point, click, and go. So let's go into the next part of today's overview. Thanks, Clive. That's just some great capabilities, and we're really excited to have you and the rest of the team on board and as part of the Informatica Cloud group here at Informatica. So you stay on board. We might get some questions towards the end, but the next steps on this product line, you can actually go right out. For those of you who are Salesforce customers, you can AppExchange and type in Cloud Extend as this screen shows. And you can get the application. You see the the point of this being a Salesforce customization tool for business users. You get some of the reviews, and then members of our team will be sure to want to talk to you about some of these options as we move forward with this new product line. So this part of the update we want to take you through is also new. This one is coming soon, but we wanted to put it in and really have you know about it early and have you the ability to get started with our pre-release program. So to tell you about where we're going with data masking in the cloud, we have Karen Sue from our product team.
I am Karen. I'm with the ILM product team, and I want to talk to you about cloud data masking because it's about security, which has been the biggest barrier to cloud adoption in numerous studies. The reason why this has been such a big problem is you just check on the news every day. There's some organization that's dealing with a data privacy breach. And most organizations focus on production data, but realize that most of the breaches are happening internally. And that's something where Forrester has noted that 70% of breaches are caused by insiders. So development, training are all the places that are completely ripe for some kind of data breach to happen. Each data breach costs $5.5 million per organization, and the cost per record is $194, as reported by Poneman Institute, which tracks this kind of data breach cost. How do customers do it today? Well, first of all, we went to look at the App Exchange, found that there was nothing offered as an application for masking. In addition, went to the Salesforce community site and found that many are looking for some kind of solution, and there is no solution today other than coming up with their own data transformation and using a tool like Informatica.
So I have a shout out to our friend Javier here, who's an MVP, who's also a very active Informatica Cloud integration user. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's why, thank you. This way, we know this is incredible. What do customers do today? Now, this is coming from Dave Chung, who's been a long time Informatica, a long time cloud user, Salesforce.com user, and he is now at Cloud Sherpas. And he said to us that many customers today wait for IT to change the sensitive data or mask the data. This delays the release by 5 days on average, and that is very costly, not only in terms of the time market, but also the potential risk of data breach if you don't correctly or completely mask the data. Use cases and where are the areas of weakness. So like we talked about, the main areas of weakness are in these testing development environments because people do not realize or do not inadvertently release information, whether it's during training or doing some testing, this information about customers. We had a customer recently talk to us about how they did a test run and accidentally sent emails out to customers they didn't mean to. Customers then called back and asked what was going on. So that's something you really don't want to be that's something you don't want to have happen in your organization because of the risk of this newly exposed data. What we encourage you to do is to follow up with us, take the survey that's available out there on our site, on the community site, and also register for the pre-release so you get to see how this actually works. Some of the screenshots below show you how this is a new application that you can get to within the existing cloud environment that you have, follow the same steps that you go through to create a project, and then leverage the out-of-the-box techniques we have for masking that are designed so that you have in your record. And these techniques are based on the industry-proven and customer-proven, customer-tested techniques we've already used for on-premise solution.
So so it's clear, Informatica has a well-established persistent data masking set of technologies rated, highly by Gartner. I guess what drove bringing this to the cloud service model, and what's different about this approach that you and your team are taking as you think about some of the SaaS application requirements you're seeing out there?
Yeah. So first of all, this is based on the market-leading technology that was rated by Gartner, so we know that the techniques are proven. Now, what we've done in understanding and recognizing the Salesforce market, and having done many surveys and interviews with cloud customers, is that there are particular requirements, for example, SaaS applications like Salesforce. And so what we've embedded into our product is an understanding of these particular applications, whether it's Salesforce or Workday or others, and the relationships that these objects have. So our technology enables you not only to deploy, to administer or create these cloud masking rules in environments you're used to in the cloud, but also adhere to the specific cloud application rules. And that requires a much deeper understanding than any other vendor has today, as well as it takes a lot longer if you were to develop these things yourself. And on average for our customers, if they were to create some kind of set of masking rules themselves, using Informatica, they're able to cut that time down by half, at least.
Great. So we'll be, as the slide indicates, we're going to go into pre-release soon, and you can sign up on the Informatica Cloud website if you are interested. We also have a survey on the community site that talks about both data masking and data archiving. We'd love to get your input on some of those areas as we build this product line out further. But another question did come in about data masking only available from cloud. As Karen mentioned, we do have, Informatica has a very strong set of capabilities for on-premise cloud data on-premise data masking and data archiving in other areas. You can learn more about that at the Informatica website. So we're excited to be working with you and your team, and we're going to be seeing lots more in this area in 2013. Thanks for taking us through it this morning.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's, before Krupa takes us through the updates on the cloud integration side of the Spring release, I wanted to spend a minute on data quality and master data management. As I mentioned in the introduction, you can, so questions were coming in for Karen. Actually, one question was about a demo of what you were talking about, Karen, and Karen did record a demo at informaticacloud.com. There's a data masking page linked from the What's New page. So talk about contact validation, first of all. This is, last year, we did a lot of work to deliver postal and email address validation capabilities as an option for standard and enterprise customers of Informatica Cloud. And this release, we've done a lot of work to really improve upon some of the native address validation capabilities. So, for example, we have some new certifications from the U.S. Postal Service. We've also increased the number of output fields. And if you have time, Krupa might be able to show a quick demonstration of what the contact validation service looks like. We have seen some good interest from current customers who wanted to extend into clean addresses and validating those, taking advantage of our underlying breadth, really. We have a part of the product line is called Address Doctor, and you use the contact validation service to validate addresses from over 240 countries and territories. So pretty broad address options when it comes to validation and cleansing. The area is cloud master data management. So late last year, we announced that we had made an acquisition in this area, and we've really been building out our native force.com data cleansing, deduplication, hierarchy management, and multi-org consolidation capabilities. And that area is really been the focus of this release for our Cloud MDM product line. We're seeing increasingly not only the need for customers to connect Salesforce with more and more systems, but increasingly seeing a need to determine a strategy around consolidating Salesforce data, whether that means merging into a single org or synchronizing multiple orgs, or in cases creating a reporting environment where everything is centralized for reporting but fairly decentralized for day-to-day operations. So you can learn more at the informaticacloud.com/MDM. It's an area. Even for basic deduplication of data, this is where a lot of people are getting started, and then broadening into more advanced hierarchy management and multi-org capabilities. There are two key areas of this release that we do encourage you to learn more about, and we'll be sending some follow-up information and doing some deeper dive sessions in March and beyond. So let's jump into the integration area. So as I mentioned earlier, all of our cloud integration customers are upgraded on Saturday night to the Spring release. And this is a lot of significant updates in this release. And with that, I've got Krupa who you might know from the community side because she's so active, responding to questions and providing information. I've got Krupa here to take us through what's new on cloud integration. Over to you, Krupa.
Sure, Darren. Hi, everybody. This is Krupa Rajan. I'm part of the Informatica Cloud Product Management team. I'm very excited to show you some of the new capabilities that we've come out with in the release that we did this past Saturday. As you know, we just came out with the winter release. We came out with the winter release in November, and we've been working hard and on a number of features and enhancements. This year we're actually putting out an additional release, and 3 months later we have our spring release that just got released, and the number of capabilities that I'm happy to show you here.
So we're going to move out of PowerPoint. We do want you to know that the overall release details are on the community site today. But Krupa is going to be actually taking us through what this all looks like. So let's go.
All right. We've focused on a couple of key areas. The first one that I'll be walking everybody through is our enhancements to security and administration. With respect to security, as many of you are aware, Informatica Cloud is highly evaluated in terms of security. We have a very secure multi-tenant cloud metadata repository. We store all of our customer information in an encrypted fashion. However, we did have some of our enterprise customers that approached us and said some of their connection information, such as the credentials to Salesforce application or credentials to database, due to compliance and other security reasons, our customers prefer that we allow the option of storing those credentials within the customer's environment behind their firewall rather than in the encrypted central Informatica Cloud metadata repository. So that's an option that we have added in this particular release. So if you go into administration and go into organization, you'll be able to choose the option of storing your connection credentials either in the Informatica Cloud servers or with your local secure agent. And our customers have the ability to choose which agent that they want to make as their metadata repository. One important thing to note here, though, is once you choose a local agent as your credential store, Informatica Cloud will then grab all of the connection information and move them over to your secure agent and store them locally. We will no longer have any information related to your connection credentials in our repository, so which means that we highly encourage you to start back up your secure agent data directories, just in case the server that's running your agent should crash or some disaster should occur. You have a way of recovering the data back and your connection credentials back. Of course, if they're stored in the Informatica Cloud servers, we manage the backups and recovery, so there's no problems there.
So this is a pretty big update that was something that some of our larger customers, customer deployments in large companies have really looked for compliance reasons and other key sort of driven requirements. We are making this available in our standard and enterprise edition, and your accounts will be automatically enabled with this capability. But it is something you have to go in here and do manually if you want to move towards this deployment option.
That's right. And do note that if you have more than one secure agent that you run, you could choose any one as your credentials repository, and you can move between your agents, so we do allow that capability as well. And easy as this, just by flipping the switch between the Informatica Cloud server and the local secure agent, you have full control over where your sensitive information resides, and that's a power that we give back to the administrators. That was the key things that we've added, and as Dan mentioned, this is a licensed feature, so if you're interested in finding out more or trying it out, please contact your account managers or support, and then we'll be happy to walk you through more details. In line with administration, another capability that we've added is with respect to schedules. So we've used a feature called Blackout Period. As you can see, it's available under the Configuration tab and under Schedules. What this is a capability that allows Informatica Cloud administrators to schedule a blackout period during which none of the jobs would be executed, regardless of whether they're scheduled jobs or manually triggered ones. So this blackout, let's step back, and the blackout period really applies to scheduled jobs. So you could schedule a blackout if in anticipation of maintenance that's being planned. For example, Salesforce may have announced a planned maintenance and a downtime window. You really don't want your jobs to be executing during that time, triggering alarms and error emails to administrators. So if you want to query your Informatica Cloud jobs to coincide with Salesforce maintenance, or maybe an internal database maintenance that you may be running, this is a very convenient way to do so. You can come in here, click on Blackout Period, enable the period, select a start and an end time. So in this case, I'm choosing March the 9th, starting at 10 a.m. and ending March 9th as well at 10:30. And as I go ahead and click OK, a blackout period will be scheduled, so I do not need to come back on that day, turn off any of my schedules. You don't need to make any modifications to your existing tasks. The blackout period will be applied across the board to all tasks within your organization, and it's a very convenient way to acquire your jobs during a planned maintenance. So those are the two key capabilities with respect to security and administration. We've also added a number of new functionality and features. One of the things that I want to take the time to highlight is our cloud community side. We've added a convenient right panel through which you can jump into any of the help that's available to you. It could be either be the online help documentation from Informatica Cloud, or a convenient way to reach support, or visit a cloud community to really get the entire community's feedback on some of the situations, issues, or ideas that you may be facing. We have a link to the video site. There are a number of demos available there, and then a live chat for some of our licensed customers to directly connect with support. Now, the cloud community is something that we're really watching. We have this ideas site on our cloud community, which allows customers to directly provide feedback to us from the product management and the user experience teams on how they would like the features to function. And in this release, we've really taken about 7 ideas that came directly from our cloud community side, directly from our customers, implemented them as enhancements in the product. So these are great resources, and thank you very much for everybody that's participating in the community and providing ideas back to us. One of the things that came up is something that I want to highlight in the demo, is with respect to the view functionality that we introduced to of our task list and activity log pages. So what we did in the November winter release is activity logs. We allowed the capability for our customers to define certain views by which you want to filter your logs. It could be all success jobs here, which I've defined as all jobs of any type, any task type, but with the status of success. You can create any such view and filter down your activity log pages. What we also did was, whatever view you are at, when you switch over tabs, go to other parts of the product, work on other activities that you're running, and come back to the same list page, we would remember where you left off and default you to the same view where you stepped away from. This was very well received. This was a convenience feature for many of our customers. And we had great feedback. But one of that feedback was that this is working out great, but we would prefer that you do not reset the view to the last place where we stepped off from, but really custom users to set up some favorite views and default to that favorite view when you switch between the tabs. With feedback, we took that and we've now introduced that capability in the user preferences. So you can run into user preference and edit your preference. Default, we would we would go back, take you back to the last selected view. But if you prefer, you could choose a favorite view here. In this case, I'm choosing all data replication jobs, and then save that as a preference for that particular user. Going back to my activity log, now data replication is my favorite view, which got defaulted. I'm switching to an all success jobs view, going back to other parts of the application. When I come back to activity logs, we now default to the favorite view that you set up in the profile. Again,
okay. So both sort of administrative capabilities for the all org as well as some user preferences. A couple of questions are coming in about a few things you've talked about. So one is around the blackout feature. What happens if my job delays and dives into a blackout period, and then will my job be abandoned?
So the blackout period controls the kickoff of your job. So if your scheduled job kickoff falls within the period, then your job will not be kicked off for that schedule. So if already running jobs will not be affected, unless of course the job is affected by the actual, the maintenance that you're coinciding the blackout period with. For example, if it's a job running against Salesforce and your blackout period coincides with your Salesforce maintenance window, your job may not complete because Salesforce is down. But other than that, the blackout period really controls your job kickoff. Okay, so you won't have anything abandoned if it's in processing. Okay, perfect. Another one is around security administration. So I switch over from a local agent to Informatica Cloud, and if new users are added, will the replication happen automatically to sync the data with the local agent? You might want to hop into the replication tab just so people see what area we're referring to. Sure. So the switching between Informatica Cloud and your local secure agent is for your connections. So if you go to configuration and connections, all of your connection information, the stuff that you see here, including the names, passwords, and all that information, that data will now be stored in an encrypted fashion along with your secure agent rather than with Informatica Cloud. These connections can be used across the board, across all kinds of tasks, data replication, data synchronization, and of the other applications that we have available. So it is across the board. So the addictions are the ones that get moved over between Informatica Cloud and the secure agent.
Okay. One other area I'm going to mention in a minute is around the marketplace and a couple of the new connectivity options. I wonder if you can just scroll through some of the connectors that are now available and just talk about how it works with the marketplace.
So with this release, we're happy to introduce Oracle CRM On Demand as a native connector, which is you can go in your connections and create a new connection directly into Oracle On Demand and use that in your data synchronization jobs. So you could preview the data that's available in Oracle On Demand, move data between Oracle On Demand and any of your other connections out there, and so on.
So in that case, you could easily move from Oracle On Demand to Salesforce, for example, yes. Or use it for other use cases around Oracle that you might have.
Absolutely. So that is something that we call the native connector. We also have the Informatica Cloud Platform, which we introduced last year, and, which allows many, both Informatica as well as our partners, to build connectors on that platform to any application or any endpoint that's available. And those are the ones that you can get through the Informatica Cloud Marketplace. So if you go to the Informatica Cloud site, there's a link to the Marketplace, and we have the connector that Dan was talking about a few minutes ago. So in the connector mall, you will find a number of connectors that are already available. The neat thing now is that if you choose to get a connector, like let's say Salesforce Chatter, go in there and with a single click and providing your credentials to Informatica Cloud, you can provision that connector directly into your Informatica Cloud org. So you would be clicking on starting a trial now. You would log into Informatica Cloud Marketplace using your Marketplace credentials, and once you do so, which I'm not going to do here for time purposes, but once you plug in your credentials and click OK, you would see that within a few minutes, directly in your Informatica Cloud, you will have that connector available. So when you go into New and you go to the type of connection, the chatter or the connector that you chose from Marketplace will be directly available here for you to create a connection to and use in your tasks.
Great. And under administration, you'll see all the different connectors that you have?
Absolutely. So there's an alternate to going to Marketplace is going under administration and connectors, and you'll see all of the connectors available here. And there are options, for example, here you could just click on free trial, and that will provision the connector directly into your org.
Great. If some of you are just getting started with Informatica Cloud or really looking to try to connect more and more systems, we're really continuing to focus on building out those options for you. So do take a minute to look under the admin tab, see what's out there, as well as brush through the Marketplace. And then one other area we don't have too much time to do a full demo of, but we talked about contact validation. Can you just point to where it is and maybe give a quick few screens of what that looks like?
Sure. So under applications, you will see contact validation. Again, this is a licensed application, so if you don't see it, please contact your account managers or support. When you go under contact validation, this is an application that allows you to run address validation as well as email validation and phone number check against the National Do Not Call registry for US. And you can do all of this from a simple wizard-like interface, very similar to data synchronization and other wizards that are available in Informatica Cloud. So you can choose any of the sources that Informatica Cloud supports, point directly to that set of data, define optional filters, and mainly map your address fields to run a validation on. This is built on Informatica's address doctor technology. Again, as Darren was mentioning before, this is an industry leader with respect to address validation. We can do 240 countries, and it goes directly against each country's address database to validate the addresses and bring out corrected addresses. The main thing about this application, though, is you not need to fit your source data to any kind of address format that the application needs. The application actually does the reverse. It can take any format that's available in your source, read that data, and then run a valid validation. What I mean by that is, in some cases, you may have your street stored in a separate column from the building name and from the house number and so on. If that's how your source data is organized, then choose the discrete format, and this is very flexible. You can map the house number, the street, the building and sub-building and so on, and then the postal code, and all of this. And you can expand these to any number of street numbers, so this can easily handle any format of international addresses. If your source data is not that granularly defined, and if you have, let's say, a single field that has both the building number and the street name, like in most US addresses, you would have an address line 1, which would give a 100 Cardinal Way, which is the Informatica address in a single column. You could use the hybrid format to do that and just map that the street as well as the building number into a single column, and we'll concatenate that and pass it along. So it's flexible in terms of the types of addresses and formats of addresses that can be supported. And it also has some level of, let me quickly this just to get past the screen. It also has an inbuilt stewardship where it can route all your high confidence corrected and validated address to a separate file and route the ones that are lower in confidence code with respect to how they were validated and corrected into a secondary file, and then you can use this in conjunction with data synchronization to then move your high confidence corrected addresses to a target, whereas with the lower confidence ones you could have a manual kind of stewardship that can take place. With the release, we are also enhancing this further to support a certified mode. For those of you that run address validations are familiar with the USPS and other country address validation schemes. UPS and a few other countries offered a certified mode, which is a more stringent way of validating addresses. It increases the confidence of the corrected address value, as well as gives you some returns on your investment by refunds that you can directly apply with USPS and so on.
So clearly, Krupa knows a lot about this new app and has been working very closely with our address validation team to really improve some of these areas of the service. So things I want to remind people about the contact validation service. One, it is available. It should be right there as a drop-down option for standard and enterprise customers of Informatica Cloud Integration. And then two, if you are on basic or another version, another edition of the service, be sure to contact your account manager, and we can enable you with a trial option where you can start working with some addresses and testing out the validation capabilities. So this is an area to definitely think about as you're expanding the overall option and footprint of Informatica Cloud in your organization. So a couple of questions. I'll just hand it over to, if we take it back to the PowerPoint, and we'll just wrap up with a few next steps. But as we're doing that, I know a couple of questions that have come in specifically about so the first question is about switching. Under the security administration, when I switch over from a local agent to cloud, next one, my screen just got small here. Is the previous security information retained in the cloud after transfer to the local agent, or is it deleted?
It is deleted because the reason why you want to move your credentials over to your local agent is because you do not want any part of that sensitive information to reside on the cloud. So we do delete it. We will not store any of that. Okay,
so be careful of as you're going through these steps. This one is about connections storing on local secure agent. Will the connections, so it's the same question. So people really want to understand how this works. I want to remind you that the hybrid security option, the option to put your credentials with the agent, is something that will be enabled for you as a standard or enterprise account. And if you want more questions, we'll be posting more details on the community site. So two areas we want to remind you of. Krupp mentioned some of the connectivities, the connectivity options. We have new connectors with this release for Amazon Redshift. This is a really interesting innovation coming up from Amazon, where increasingly customers are looking to move more and more data warehousing to the cloud, and we have a pre-release connector available for Amazon Redshift. So something that your company's thinking about or working on, do let us know, and we've seen some tremendous interest already from some of our largest customers. I mentioned Oracle CRM On Demand. We have a whole series of other connectors, Microsoft AX, some REST connectivity, other options like that are available with this release. And you're going to see a lot more connectivity coming both from Informatica Cloud as well as our partners. I've seen some of our partners like Silverline and Mansa Systems already built some of their own connectors and are looking to make those available in the marketplace as well, or to their customers. The other area that we're excited about, we didn't really talk about, is integration templates. So with integration templates, you can very quickly create a pre-packaged integration, say it's opportunity to order, and or other kind of a workflow, and package that up and make it available to extend what's possible with Informatica Cloud Integration. Some of the ones we have around data aggregation, and with this release we have a whole series of data quality templates that we put out on the marketplace for you to work with. And these are ideal if you know how to use PowerCenter. You can start building your own, or you can customize these. With each edition of Informatica Cloud, we make a certain amount of templates available for you to work with. The template designer is also something you can access through the community site. So that's a quick overview of the connectivity and the Get It Now side of templates with this release. And you can see we're continuing to really tighten up that handshake, that interoperability with the Informatica Marketplace. So I encourage you to spend some time looking through those two malls, the connector mall and the template mall. So for steps, we're just about at the end of our time to give pretty significant overview, a significant update. Clive took us through the exciting new capabilities that come to us from the Active Endpoints acquisition. And welcome, Clive, to you and the team. We did actually, I think I have time for a quick question, Clive, just to bring it back to what you were covering around the Cloud Extend product. There was a question from a Salesforce user who has heard about some of the Salesforce capabilities, their visual designer. Can you just really give us a quick overview of how what we're doing here is different than the native Salesforce capabilities?
Sure. The Cloud is targeted purely at sort of easy to use business users, business use. So it's really easy to use. I don't need to know apps or anything else like that. Really targeted at that sort of business use case. Whereas Salesforce Visual Flow is much more of an IT driven tool. So you do need to know a lot more sort of programming, kind of query type language that you need to sort of do query first and then manipulate your data. Very consuming. There's a big learning curve for it, and I don't know if you go on. It's not persistent, or it can be persistent. It's just very diffuse.
Okay, great. So that's a clear question you've been asked before, and I just put back up on the screen. Next steps, if you are interested in the new Cloud Extend capabilities, you can go to the App Exchange and just type it in and search for it, or you can contact us and we'll help you get started with that new application. Karen mentioned the Cloud Masking application, which is just going into pre-release now. So this is, well, not quite yet. This is an area that you're going to see a lot more from Informatica in 2013. So Cloud Masking, helping you mask your dev and test data, ensure that you're not putting your business at risk. We see a lot of exciting interest in this, but we want to hear from you. So you do let us know. Take the survey. You can reach out to Karen directly on the community site and started with the pre-release program for Cloud Data Masking. Finally, Krupa took us through a lot of new enhancements. All of the cloud integration customers were updated over the weekend, and you can read the user guide and release notes on Informatica Community. We can really dive into all details that are now available to you with this upgrade. So I want to thank everybody for attending. That brings us to the top of the hour, and we look forward to diving into these topics further with you on our next webinar.
Thank you for joining us today. This concludes today's web conference. You may now disconnect.